All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Attacking Third. Joining me tonight is the Gobbler, Pat. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? I'm just doing another great job filling in for my man Gus. I think he'll be joining soon. I know he's busy with the wife being at work, kids running around. I know what that's like. So, but in due time, you got me for a whole hour. So I'm ready to talk some Union soccer. I'm ready to talk about the best team in the city of Philly. So,
Definitely,
uh, I know people are pumping about the Eagles. I know people are frustrated with the Phillies, but right now, this hour belongs to the Philadelphia Union.
definitely. And just gonna dive right into it. We were talking about it last week. The Union played their friendly match against CF Pachuca, and we wound up winning that 1-0 off of a goal from a free kick that Kai Wagner had set up. Harrio managed to get a good shot on it and get that goal in the
Hmm
49th minute. And it was just my favorite thing about this whole match was that we had a lot of guys away on international stuff. Like Andre Blake played against Argentina, um, and our four of our guys were off on under 22 duty for the U.S. men's national, and we still beat the best team in Mexico apparently. So like,
Yeah, that's
it's just
huge.
really it really is. It's huge, especially like I had said, to see where we stack up against this kind of a potential competition going into the CONCACAF Champions League, where we have that we are able to play in that next year. But yeah, I mean,
Hmm
it was just because I wasn't able to actually watch it. I couldn't really find it anywhere, but they did on their website they did like a minute by minute breakdown of like anything that could potentially have happened. There was a lot of offensive display from the Union in this.
No.
The defense was really strong. We got to see a few players make their debuts. One of them
hmm
being we talked about him probably about a month or two ago. Richard Odata
Okay.
was his name, the one midfielder that we had
Off
signed.
the bench. I got to further investigate. I just know I saw, um, from what I've seen, it was a great deal of soccer. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, both,
Yes.
you know, defensively, it was really good. Offensively, it was, like I said, slow pace, whatever. Listen, at the end of the day, they got the 1-0 win against a team that supposedly have the next level up on them, and then a Mexico team. So look, and got that one head shot. I don't know who got it, but like you said, the one kid coming off the bench, I would have to do my research on because, like you said, you're getting a lot of rotational guys coming in to play. And with that being said, that's huge because it's showing how deep your bench is going to be. And this is, and I'm thinking Jim Curtin's going to do a whole lot more with a whole lot less, and he did. And he's going to save his other guys for in the regular MLS, and he's getting these opportune times for these other kids, and they're making the best of it right now.
Yeah, a few of these guys were guys that are on our second team, Union Two. Um,
Okay.
the one was the one that saw a lot of offensive opportunity was Nelson Pierre.
Okay.
He led a few good counterattack runs. Was part of a really good play that saw Odata forcing a turnover in a pretty dangerous area for Pachuca. But I mean, yeah, like you said, like it was like really deep rotational guys. Like Jesus Bueno played. Just a bunch of guys you don't really see often get into like an league match, and to be able to pull a 1-0 win against a team that is, like I said, considered the best in Mexico right now is really really good.
Yeah, that's huge, man. I'm very excited for the Union. Again, pulling out all the stops. They just previously come off a loss, or no, I'm sorry, a tie, and they had to answer back. And this is how they do it against a team that's supposedly, like you said, on paper, a better team. And let's face it, they probably were. But guess what? The Union answered back. And a huge win for this Philadelphia Union team, just taking care of business. On both sides of the ball, and however, like, getting that 1-0 win is fine. It's fine. Your defense, like you said, played very strong for you, which you've been having all year round, long, from Andre Blake on out. So, uh, kudos to that defense for shutting that down. Who was the guy who also got that
Yeah,
the
definitely.
goal?
Nathan Harriel. He sometimes
Okay.
is our starting right back. It's usually a rotation of him and Olivier and Bizo are the two that usually play on the other side of
And
Kai Wagner on the back line.
okay, so yeah, I saw that. They took care of business. Looked very, very sharp. Like I said, on the back line everywhere, man. They looked dope. They looked like they came to play, and which is really, really good, man. They were ready to rock and roll. They had to answer back,
Yeah,
man. They had to build confidence in themselves and giving other players a shot. Other guys that chance to play.
yeah, it was a very solid effort, like you said, all the way through, and to be able to pull the result that we pulled was very indicative of how we played that match for sure.
Yeah, and it was very tight. But what was some of the big key moments that you see from this game? Also, what was some other things that you saw? I mean, some
Um,
of the big stops that you saw.
honestly, a lot of it was just the ball movement from a lot of
Hmm.
these guys because they actually do spend a lot of time together out on Union too. So you're able to get a lot of that work together and know how each other play, and to be able to see those guys have mild success with it, being able to mount good runs and good attacks on a team like Pachuca was really fun to be able to see.
Yeah, and that, like I said, that to me was the big win. Ow, Jesus, I hit my elbow
Ooh,
there.
yeah,
Uh,
uh,
a little bit of a stinger. But anyway, like I said, you never know what could happen when you're going live. But anyway,
yeah, right.
um, huge, man. This is huge for the Union. Uh, it must feel good for Jim Curtin and his coaching staff to feel great. To have that mobility to get a win. It's not exactly a win in the win column because this doesn't help the MLS, but it means it shows that you're confident that your guys are ready for the next level.
Yeah,
And shows
and
that you're head and shoulders above all the competition below you.
yeah,
Call out the rest.
it's more also it's like I said, it's a good test to see how you can really play against a team that you potentially could match up against in the Champions League next year because of the fact that they
Hmm.
won their league championship. You'll potentially have them in your pool when you get in there. So I mean, it was just really good match overall, and like I said, just I was just really excited to see how that played out, considering who they were playing against.
Yeah, and like I said, one of the premier one of the teams, like I said, a lot bigger teams. Like I said, another team that's on another level,
Yeah,
and you were there to stop them. So, again, this is for people who don't understand. This is like what they call how some people view MLS as XFL, and they played an NFL team and stopped them. So, and I beg to differ because I think that in a few years' time, the MLS is going to be the prime time spot. Regardless, the world premiere and all that soccer stuff. I get all that, um, but this is to me the bigger market. It's going to be eventually because it's going to be Americanized. That's my opinion anyway. So here goes Linda. Pat, stop hurting yourself. Yeah, man. Here goes one thing, Linda. I never stop hurting myself.
it never
Um,
doesn't happen.
no. But anyway, Austin, take some more away from it. Who were some of the key players on offense? Or
Offensively, especially in the second half, Kai Wagner, Richard Odata, uh, obviously, Wagner and Harriel for getting, linking up for the goal. Um, and Julie, God, I moved on from that information. Um, the kid from Union 2 that we were talking about just a few minutes ago, and I already forget his name, and I feel terrible about it.
no, don't feel bad.
Nelson Pierre, there it is. Um, yeah, just seeing a lot of these guys that have been showing promise down on Union 2, being able to get some play with the first team was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They were getting some time in there. Like you said, most of these guys don't get their feet wet at all. Jim Curtin is pretty much silent on his rotations and substitutions, but he actually gave some guys some playing time against this upper echelon team. So
Yeah,
that makes me feel good as well. So
Yeah, and that's not even, and we're not even trying to sell a team like the club like Pachuca short. Like they definitely battled all the way through for sure, and it was a very
yeah,
strong match from both sides. But to be able to crack that tie when we did and be able to hold out after that was really good.
yeah, absolutely. They, like you said, it was a battle to the end. Just a 1-0 win. We'll take it. I mean, again, a bounce off the old noodle from that corner pass. Look, we'll take it, man. It was really nice. So, like I said, back on the winning track. This is how this team is built. They will take a tie. They've snapped out. Like I said, they've played. I think last week was an ugly set of Union soccer. This is where they looked fatigued. This is where they had that these woes. I would say late May Union soccer. It was sloppy, and they have these. They lay an egg every once in a while, but it's very rare they lay eggs back to back. They usually play teams tough, and this is what they did. This is another team that they played tough from
Yeah,
start to bottom, and to hang in with them and beat them, it's a 1 point differential. Still signs of positive things to come.
yeah, definitely for sure.
So
And again, just keep. I feel like we just keep resonating the same thing. It was exactly what you wanted them to do. You wanted them to come out and show that they're still a tough team to play, regardless of who's going to be in the 11 and the remaining rotation. Like Joe Bednick was the starting keeper for us in that
r-
match because we didn't have Andre Blake,
right,
and
right.
he had a couple of good stops. Kai Wagner stopped one on the line, and then to have that defense turn into good offense later on, getting the assist on the Harriel goal off of the set piece, just it was really really good. They played really well.
No question. Are they saving Andre Blake for the MLS and not for this
No, it
matchup?
was
I mean,
he was on international duty playing for Jamaica against
oh, okay,
Argentina. Yeah, because
okay,
everyone is getting like some World Cup like warm up like friendly matches in before the World Cup actually starts.
wow. So he's just like you said, he's just getting his feet up, pretty much getting his preseason all.
Yeah, just
So
getting a couple of matches against some other competition in before the actual like whole thing starts.
right, and so like I said, it's good to see the Union take care of business. Like I said, to me, I've I love seeing this team, man. They are really spectacular. Like I said, they got a drive. This is now the second year in a row that they've come on strong. I mean, since the first time we done this podcast now to where we're at now, this team is really come on strong. See where they are with their progression. So, uh, it, like I said, there's not really a dull on this team. Sometimes they have bad games. You're not going to win them all, but most of the times they haven't lost at all. They've got nothing but
Yeah,
draws. So
yeah,
I mean, they rarely lay down. And now got the playoffs in hindsight coming up soon. But like I said, I want to continue talking about this matchup in particular because, like I said, people might not look at it and say, "Oh, and who's this team?" Like myself, I came to you. I'm like, this game doesn't mean anything, and you're like, "Whoa, Pat, pump the brakes. It does mean something. They're playing against another team on another level, and you beat them. Granted, it was on our turf, but you beat them. You took care of them, and it's showing your guys. Like I said, you're ahead. You're head and shoulders above the rest. You're
yeah,
ready for the next level of competition soccer. So if you could take a win from one of these guys, you should be able to win the cup now. And
yeah.
I know
And
people call
going in,
me
and
Jinx.
especially because of the fact that you're going into the competition that you're going into starting next year.
Right. It's and like I said, it's a solid goaltending matchup. Um, it's a solid game, and you have, like you said, you didn't even start your best player. You didn't have Andre Blake, and you're still be able to take care of business. You had, like you said,
Yeah,
most of your guys are on substitution. Other guys are
are
on
out on
international
yeah,
play.
out on the
So
international duty. That was the main thing.
yeah, get
I think Gosdog was out.
oh,
I don't even think Bedoya played. Um, Martinez, uh, Corey Burke, Andre Blake. I think that's it, but I don't remember for sure. Oh yeah,
yeah.
and then like the younger guys like Aronson, Sullivan, McGlynn, and God, there was one other kid, and I forget his name. Paxton Aronson. The four of
So
them
McGlynn
are on.
got
Yeah, the
playing
four of
time.
them are on the under 22 men's national team, doing
Okay.
some stuff for international duty with them, playing a couple matches and stuff.
Yeah, I like going. Um, again, just good things. None of those guys got hurt. They're ready to come back. They're ready to take care of some business at home. Oh, I'm sorry, on the road. But we're about to get in that conversation. But still, this team, Jim Curtin was in the house. Again, get to work on some new pieces. And this guy, this coach, he just knows how to win, man. He knows
Yeah,
how to win. I don't know what is about his mentality in the locker room, but these guys like playing for him. He knows how to get their attention. He knows what he wants to see and win. And you and I have talked about this uh, months back, where he called out the team one time in front of the media, and ever since then it's been a whole new ball game. And he's got a great
yep.
culture in the locker room. There's nothing really wrong you can say about Jim Curtin.
Yeah,
Nothing.
exactly. And I feel like that's the best part about this team is the fact that like there's not a ton of, I guess you could say, drama surrounding anything going on with the team. Like there was the whole thing with Atlanta with Joseph Martinez, uh, you
Right.
know, NYCFC loaning out Tati Castellanos. Like there's been a ton of things, like especially just in our conference specifically, that like you're like, wow, thank God this isn't us, because these
Right.
would be like, especially a guy like a Tati Castellanos, to lose him has been like huge for NYCFC and the way that they've been playing ever since he left.
Yeah, and you bring a excellent point, because, like you said, most teams, most franchises have that problem with the locker room, whether it's coach, a head player, or some kind of animosity they got going on. And this team right here doesn't have any of that, and which is good. And like I said, it starts from the front office and works their ways down. And again, Jim Curtin, his coaching staff, what he wants. He's been now. This is his second run, and like I said, we've all glanced. If the team didn't go through the COVID protocol last year, uh, I think the whole team didn't catch COVID. I think this team would have been your MLS champions. And I have the same kind of vibe about this team now. Like this is how I feel. I feel like the team is really going to take the MLS playoffs by storm and get that championship. So, in doing so, though, Austin, like I said, they got like a lot of things in their way here. Like I said, uh, but like, back to Jim Curtin here. Um, this guy just knows how to win big time.
Yeah,
He
he
knows
just
how to win.
yeah, he just has such a great mind for the game to be able to adjust the way he does and be able to have this team see through the way they have been playing, to be able to essentially turn on a whole other gear and just be able to play out of sight.
Yeah,
It's been
and
it's been really fun to be able to watch, and it's just proof that the the culture that he's established in the locker room with how the team should be in terms of both on and off the field has been absolutely perfect.
I totally 100% agree. I 100% agree with everything you're saying. This team is really good, really good. And like you said, I don't know what it's about his coaching abilities, but like you said, they got everything that you want in a coach, everything. And I don't know what it is. Like I said, he doesn't even know these players like that, and they're playing hard for him.
Yeah,
So, and we're talking about substitution of guys, all that stuff, guys who had to stay behind and play for the team. And like I said, they took care of a team that's got a pretty high resume and standard.
yeah,
So, to do that on your home turf is pretty good in my book. So, if I, like I said, I don't want to go, beat the path, go off the beaten path here. But if I had to judge coaches in the city, I would have to rank Jim Curtin at number one currently right now, because he's there. He's got a pedigree. He's got guys who want to play for him. He has all that in a bag of potato chips. So you want that in your um, in your arsenal. And this guy brings it. He is what he is, and he says what he is. You know what I mean? He's a good head coach, and he's got a good mind.
yeah.
So I would love to pick his brain one of these times. So, like I said, though, here goes the other part of the segment. Um, the team is getting ready to make its last road trip. They just got off a road trip down in Atlanta, and they got to make another pit stop in Charlotte. So, Austin, how's this one playing out? Tell me your thoughts.
Well,
What scared you and all that stuff.
I mean, the main thing is going to be just seeing how the Union react to the noise from the stadium. It's a very large stadium that they play in right now, and seeing how we can adjust to being able to deal with all of that going on. And it's our first time playing down there. We have played them before, but at their stadium could always go differently than it did in yours. So you just
Mm-hmm.
have to be careful. They've been definitely been learning how to really like adjust to playing at like the MLS level instead of where they were
Mm-hmm.
before. So they're starting to come together a little bit. Like they're making a bit of a push towards getting into the playoffs. You know, maybe out of reach for them. It's very possible, but these last 2 weeks could really determine that. And them getting a win against Philadelphia would be big for them in terms of where they are right now and what they're trying to do.
Yeah, well, here goes our man Dave Arnell. You could check him out on the Steel Step podcast. You could check him out on the Pass and Av. He's everywhere, but in underwear. So, but yeah, that's my man Dave. Saying, hey fellas, listen, for me, the last time these two teams met up was back on April 2nd. We won 2-0. Then obviously things transpired. Now we said number one. It's been a long time since April 2nd. Okay, we're looking at 2 seasons ago. So here we
Pretty
are.
much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean we're sitting at the top of the hill. They're sitting at 10th. I don't think they're going to make the postseason. However, this is where the Union have had their woes, if you will. But then again, I think they have responded to their woes pretty well. Um, however, Charlotte is coming off two, back-to-back wins, one over New York on 1-0 win, and then they just beat Chicago in on Soldier Field, 3-2. And that kid Carl Levinsky, I don't want to say his name. I don't want to butcher it too much, but he's got 10 goals. Uh, Again, he got that corner shot, penalty kick. He turned around, he sniped it in. Beautiful executed, and then, like I said, they continued bringing the pressure on Chicago, and Chicago had nothing left to fight with. Um, but however, with all, like one thing I watched when I watched that game, I noticed the one thing about them, their defense is not that great. So you can run the course on them. You can, if you long as you bring the pressure, they can't keep up with you. You could beat the man-on-man competition. You got that in the bank. So I think the Union are pretty good at that. Um, like I said, as long as you beat the man-on-man, you'll be fine.
Yeah, this is
Again,
definitely a team that when we last played them, like you said, it basically was almost 2 seasons ago when you think about it, because of the fact that it was so early on in the year and we were definitely a different team at that time.
hmm
Um, Granted, we still did win, but the 11 looks nothing like it did then. For especially like the way the midfield looks now. But yeah, the competition they've played hasn't been too great, and they did lose to Cincinnati, who is very close to them in the standings.
hmm Well, I
And
mean,
let's see,
like I said, they beat New York. They beat which New York's a decent team. They beat Chicago. Chicago stinks. But like I said, however, April 2nd, you know, it's a long time from now. And I know, like I said, they're coming off a 2-game winning streak. I get all that. But the way this Union team that's built, they're pretty good on the road as well. I mean, they're the road warriors. They have nothing to fear. You know what I mean? They'll come in there and they're going to punch this Charlotte team right in the schnozzle. So I think they're going to be just a-okay. Jim Curtin is going to run up on the playbook. Everything he needs to do is shut down this kid Carl Vinsky, and I took a look at their goaltender. Their goaltender, uh, what's his name? Something Gaga or something like that. I don't want to butcher it. I'm bad with the soccer names. However, he is like ranked third in clean sheets. So that's something you could possibly look out for. And like I said, this kid, uh, Carl Vinci, like I said, don't want to butcher his name too, but he's got 10 goals. So
Carl
again,
Swiderski.
yeah. So a couple things to look out for. in this matchup. But like, however, I think the Union are just going to come in and take care of business. So I don't think there's nothing much that Charlotte has to throw at them.
Yeah, there's really aside from aside from aside from Shviderski, there isn't really a lot to this team yet. Um, and of course, it's going to be tough to really have that right away because it's your first year in the league, so there's going to be
Hmm.
time to develop what your team is and how they're going to play and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not really looking to like far into like this as who they are as a club. So I
Right.
mean, even if they pull a draw here, like it's pretty much just from here on out. It's just looking towards the playoffs at this point.
Yeah. Right. You're looking down the yellow brick road. However, we do take it one game at a time, and we're permanently said this is the last game of the regular season of a road trip. Now, I, you and I both agree that I think they're going to take care of business easy. I'm just looking at the potential problems
Yeah,
that can occur during this game, who could be a problem and stuff. And this kid, uh, Carl Vinsky, and like I said, I'm terrible at these names, but he had 2 goals in this game. So he came with some house money and he came ready to play. So you have to be paying attention on him when he takes the field. He's looking, build his stats and all those things. So what do you have more about this kid? Are you fair of him? I mean, you have the better IQ when it comes to MLS soccer.
uh, I mean, he seems to be solid enough for this team where they are right now and what they want for their forward. Essentially, statistically, he's geez, he's about where you would want your number 10 to be. Is getting double digit goals,
Mm-hmm.
notching a few assists along with that. Very very few penalties in general. Yeah, he's been exactly what they would want, and he definitely is someone that you have to keep an eye out for sure. But I feel like the back line definitely is gonna do their job and contain him from being able to really get much going.
Same. And like I said, it's been a long time since we've seen this team, and I'm curious because I've always wanted to check out, Charlotte and their new stands. And like we both alluded to, this is a brand new team into the league, and we got to see again. They're a 10 seed team, so they're not great. They're not in your playoff realm. They're not going to make it to the postseason. They just missed it by, I want to say 6 points. They just missed out. They're on the outside looking in, so they're looking to probably rebuild, see who could play for next year, all those sorts of things, and what you would do at the end of the year, get yourself established. Who's going to deserve a contract, who doesn't, who you're ready to ship off to sea, and all this stuff. But however, they do have an interim coach that looks like he's been playing with some house money as well. I want to say something Filippo or something. Like I said, I'm terrible with hockey names, but I know he's the interim coach right now. He looks like dudes are look like they want to play for him. He has some kind of swag in the locker room. He's got a pedigree, all those sorts of things. He looks like another guy looks like he's ready to turn some heads around with a great culture, mentality. He looks like he's bringing all that to the table here. So, but look, before we go any further, I do got to give our sponsors a shout out here. First of all, let's get into taking this off the sorry about that, folks. Taking this off the board here. Let's get this up with our man David R. Cherry. Guys, man, for any work conversation, medical vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law, hit up our man David R. Cherry at 610-565-0300. And guys, I don't know what you guys are doing this Sunday, but this Sunday morning at 11 a.m., pre, half, post game Eagles, I'll be in the house, doing one of these parts here. So I'm looking towards that, guys. Come hang out with the EOP family. Very excited, very aroused. And then, of course, the whole lineup. If you missed it earlier today, you had on at 7 o'clock Birds IQ, and then after this is no, we for our Deborah Sports family, we have our video game show talking Tekken. So but instead of that, here we go. Philly Sports Trips, guys. Hit up phillysportstrips.com. Go to tell them the EOP sent you. Look, the next available trip is in Arizona for the Eagles trip. So guys, if you want to go check them out, go to Arizona. But here, like I tell you, not only have to check with the Phillies. I mean, I'm sorry, with the Eagles. Come and hang out with us Union heads because they will be in Charlotte this weekend. So guys, head up phillysportstrips.com. See what they can help you out with, hook you up with, because they will hook you up with this trip, man. It's always a party. Our very own Mike Laro just went to this Washington game. Her was a slamming good time. So anytime Philly Sports Trips hook us up a trip, I'm hearing it's a well of a time. So guys, uh, and it's a shame because I think the next time they come out for the Union one, I think me and my crew here are going to have to take a ride and experience it. So, but for all that, man, let's get back to the problem at hand here. And the problem at hand here, Austin, is one heading down to Charlotte. And as we head down to Charlotte, we look like we're going to take out a tough, not tough, but let's see what's the milk and crannies, what's the cookie cut, how are we going to take care of this? What are you feeling? Are you feeling a big win? What are you feeling? Other than
Yeah,
sleep.
I'm just genuinely thinking Philadelphia's just going to go down there and do the job that they've done throughout the season and pretty much just repeat what they did against Charlotte early on in the year. Um,
Yeah,
they have that same mentality that they had when they played them earlier on in the season, so it's probably going to be the same result in my opinion.
yeah. And next time, first of all, next time we ever they do a big trip down to Charlotte. I think you, I, Gus, and the bro, one Alex, have to get together in Charlotte and go hang out for one of these games. Uh, that'd be a cool trip. We have to take a road trip down there. So I love to do that. But look, man, big game ahead. This Saturday at I think it's a daytime game, I believe. It's 5:30, I believe. Union and Charlotte. I think that they're gonna square up and go 1-on-1, obviously. But like I said, I'm looking towards seeing Blake in the lineup. I'm obviously want to see Kyle Gazek in the back in the lineup, who's third in the league, has 19 goals, all that stuff. Um, what are you most excited about seeing about the Union back in the back on the turf?
Mainly just seeing what they've been able to do offensively has been really fun, and being able to see more of that is exactly what I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay, so um, I want to tell you right now, I want to say thank you to the Sons of Ben who gave our show a like on the Twitter page. So thank you, Sons of Ben, for checking into the program. So look, man, again, big road trip coming up here, our last regular season. I think that's going to be it because I'm pretty sure we're going to have home field advantage throughout this big old
Yeah,
thing.
well, after this match, we wrap up the regular season at I
In the
think
regular
at
season,
Toronto, I believe.
yeah, no, we got Toronto. Yeah, we got Toronto coming in the following week, next weekend. So
Yeah,
we'll have that. We'll wrap up the season with Toronto, and then we move forward towards the MLS playoffs. So
yep,
I'm very excited for.
yeah. They
So
start. I believe it's October 20th. Their playoffs are scheduled to start.
right. Other than okay, so I named you Carol Lewinsky. I named you a couple things. I told you to look out for the goaltender. But if you're Jim Curtin, what are you looking at, Austin? What are you looking at entirely of what I needed to win this game right here?
Pretty much just the same thing that you've been doing. Stay strong in the midfield, work the back line, maintain pressure on the outside runs, and just overall just the same thing that you've always been doing, and just keep up the intensity throughout the full 90, and you'll be able to walk away with something.
Same, and that's what I want to see. That's how I feel. I feel like we just keep on playing our game, keep on bringing pressure because, like I said, I know they can't hang with pressure. I know their defense. You could take care of their defense, beat them on the one on ones. You go on the outside, you can work the inside of the middle, like you said. You play solid defenders in the middle, you'll be cool. Um, like I said, you just really just gotta. I think you just gotta pound fast. Get on the scoreboard early. You get on there early. I think you could look at maybe 3 to 4 0 wins. So, but like I said, they are coming with some momentum. They got an interim coach, so they made some changes along the way. But I don't think it's enough for this Union team. I don't think so.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's it's promising to see what Charlotte has been able to do so far this year, but they still have a few years to go before they have the true development of their players and all that.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. I think that's what they need. I think they need true development. It's going to take some time. Granted, like I said, a brand new team coming into the league, 10th seed, which is not too bad. Uh, you're starting to answer the bell a little bit. You got to come up with 2 game momentum, but again, this is you're playing a hungry Union team who've
Yeah,
answered the bell on pretty much everything. They haven't
yeah,
answered the bell. You know what I mean? They rarely lay eggs, and they're coming in more hungry. So if they lay a tie, so uh, and especially off this big win they just had on this past weekend, nah, I'm sorry, Charlotte. It's time for that butt kicking, my friend. You might as well just drop your drawers because we're taking the belts off and we're cracking them right all across the Knish. And it's coming on. So it's going to hurt. Not me, but it's going to hurt you, your butt. Uh, but anyway, sorry, I don't know where I was going with that one. Um, but anyway, Austin, do you have any input about this new interim coach?
um, I honestly did not look into
Yeah, because
anything about him. Let me see.
yeah, like I said, I know they got a brand new interim coach. I don't know where he's from exactly, but apparently, like I said, he's coming in with some swag. I missed his press conference. I know that was on. But like I said, the guys look like they like playing for him and all this stuff. So I guess he's gonna be fighting for a job to get that full job for next year and be their guy for next year. So look, if they could beat the Union, that's impressive on his part. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, they're gonna come out swinging too.
I mean, the interim head coach for Charlotte is Christian Latanzio.
Yeah.
He was an assistant coach for the Manchester City youth team, uh, a few places in Italy, and has worked with guys like Roberto Mancini. So he has a decent pedigree of like who he's learned from. He has had some assistant coaching jobs. Um, so I mean, he definitely has the knowledge to help this team be able to develop. But I feel like he might be a bit too old school kind of soccer. You know what I mean? Where like the game is sort of developing in a different way. Um, but I don't know. I could be horribly, horribly wrong, and I could be eating
Yeah, I
those
mean,
words by this time next season, and Charlotte could be like a number two, number 3 or 4 seed or something. But I mean, like developmentally, like they're definitely moving in a positive direction for sure.
yeah, and like I mentioned, they're coming off a 2 game win with them. So something's brewing down there. However, they just had the week off, so I don't know if that momentum is going to come and change. But look, man, he's been on them. They've been having press conferences with the guy. Uh, he seems like a good dude. Like you said, he's learned from a couple good people. He's been overseas. He's been everywhere. Now it's his time to. Like I said, he needs his W in the worst way against the Union, against Jim Curtin, one of the top, if not the best head coach in MLS. He's gonna have to try and take him out to get this job for next year. So he wants it. He wants to prove the team better. It's all going to be there for this Union team.
Yeah, for sure. And sorry, I'm just looking back into uh who Latanzio took over for. I had the information right there in front of me, and I had got rid of it.
Yeah. So,
Okay, yeah, like it was Miguel Angel Ramirez,
mm-hmm.
and he was that long. I don't think either, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was the head coach. He was named on July of 2021, and then May of 2022. Yeah, less than a year, and they were
Wow.
tied for eighth place at the time, just short of playoff position.
Okay.
Um, okay, according to team captain Christian Fuchs, there were a number of quote unquote fractures between the players and Ramirez. Fuchs told a local TV station that when he tried to address problems with Ramirez, all too often the door was shut, and that didn't feel good. He also added that Ramirez never did post-match analysis with the players despite their youth. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, just a disconnect between him and the younger players on the team, which, like I said, the game is developing in a different way now from what it used to. So,
And
they I feel like they may have someone who has a bit more of an open mindset because of the fact that he's been coaching with younger players for a while.
right.
Because starting off with Manchester City's youth academy and going through there to NYCFC and
Mm-hmm.
a couple other places before coming to Charlotte to be eventually a head coach. He's learned some things. And he's played with some young teams, so there's a possibility that he could be this team's starting to come together under what he's trying to do.
Correct. Correct. And like I said, he's probably changed his philosophy, not getting along at first. So now there's some kind of connect between him and these players for them to have like this little momentum swing that they have been going on. And like I said, to me, I think we might be overlooking this because we're just looking at this as a lower level bottom feeder team. And he's looking at us, look, I got to make an impression to not only to have my head coaches to the whole Charlotte staff, but maybe potentially if I don't get hired here, I can get a job somewhere else. So again, he's looking and he's like, what a better way than take out the best to be the man. In order to be the man, you got to beat the man. So uh, if he could take out Jim Curtin, hey man, now he starts getting talked about and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I mean,
he's
but I mean,
yeah,
personally, I feel like being able to get the head coaching job doesn't really have to do with the notches you can put on your belt. You know what I mean?
right.
It's more about how how receptive are the players to what you're trying to get them to do. Are you having good, like making good connections with them, and like they're being like they're cool with you, and you're like they're adapting to your philosophy of play. I feel is more what I would consider in terms of keeping a head coach. And if that seems to be what he's doing, then you know, uh, owner David Tepper could literally just say, "Hey, we'll keep you. Let's do it." If
Right.
if and if especially if the team captain, if a guy like Christian Fuchs is down with what he's preaching, definitely, because
Well,
Fuchs can anchor that team for a while as their captain. So to be able to build around what he can bring to the team as well, and have a coach that's willing to essentially piggyback off of that and establish a really good culture down there, you
hmm
can see a lot of progress over the next few years with that.
same. And that's the way I look at it too, Austin. Again, there's a lot to go into this. Like you said, maybe not such how many notches that we got on their belt, but again, 2 wins, changing the culture of the locker room. If he can pull this big win, this surprising, shocking trap game, however you want to look at it, he could pull this off against Jim Curtin. Hey, look, that even brightens his door for that franchise even more. So, but also let's get into the final crust of this again. How you see this playing out? How do you want to see it play out? All those things.
I would like to see the Union come out and play the dominant form of soccer that we've seen them playing. Walk away with at least a 2 goal win.
hmm
Either way, as long as you walk away with points, it'll be all right at this point. Um, I would like to see a win, but if you can only pull the draw, that's totally fine.
Same. I think history is going to repeat itself. I think it's going to be 2 to 3 goal win. I think Union are going to get back in the stride of things. They might be a little, fatigued at first, just getting back on, as the team has won, but still keeping their feet wet is a good thing. So they're going to come back. They're going to come back as hungry. And I think, like I said, Jim Curtin's going to make those adjustments and figure it out fast what he needs to do to figure out this Union team, this Charlotte team. Again, you beat the one-on-one matchups. If we're one of those teams who like to drive the ball down fast, get creative in their zone, we could take this bad boy home nice and early, nice and early. We should be
Yeah,
able to have we should be able to take care of. So let's get into the last part of the segment. So I'm feeling a 3-2. I'm thinking 3-0 win. What are you feeling? Final prediction.
I'll say 2-1.
2-1. Okay, so we have that. So here goes one more. So the one part of the segment of the show is shaping up for the playoffs. So honestly, this team is probably going to be your one-seeded team. Who do we get first in the first round? If it's
In the first
looking,
round, we play nobody. We get a first round bye.
oh, nice. Um, so we'll have a bye there. How do you think this is going to shape up? Who's first of all, who's making to the dance?
Well, let me see here. As of right now,
Mm-hmm. So I mean, like I said, I know the Red Bull will be there. I know
if
New
if it,
York.
if the playoffs were to start today,
Mm-hmm.
Montreal would play Miami. That's 2 versus 7. New
Two
York
versus
Red
seven.
Bull would play Orlando City, which is 3 versus 6, and then NYCFC would play Cincinnati, which is 4 versus 5.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then whatever the lowest seed is that's left, we would play them
Right.
in the second round.
Who is in the wild card right now? Who's in the hunt?
Um, well, Columbus is tied with Inter Miami
Yeah,
at
that's right.
42 points. It's actually it should be Columbus that's ahead because of goal differential. But I think what they do is wins first and then goal
Mm-hmm.
differential, so that would probably make sense.
So
Um,
Columbus is in
Atlanta's
the.
Atlanta Atlanta's only 2 points out. Charlotte and New England are only 4 points out, and all these teams have at least 3 games left to play.
Oh, really?
Atlanta and New England both have 2 left, where Orlando City, Inter Miami, Columbus, and Charlotte all have 3. So I feel like
So
having that match in hand for them is definitely an advantage for being able
yeah.
to shift themselves up and down uh, the standings, especially down there where from where Charlotte is to where Miami is only 4 points difference.
So I mean, this is great. This I love this type of year. See who gets into the dance, who doesn't. So I don't know, man. I think Columbus could get into that seed right now. I know at least Inter Miami has it, but I don't know, man. It's great. It's great to see this. It's pretty much playoff time now. You know what I'm saying? You got, like I said, and if you have that extra game at hand, and if you could play your cards right, if you control your own destiny, you're in. You're in. If I know it's easier said than done, but if you can handle the competition that's in front of you, hey, you could be in this thing. You could definitely be in this thing, and see if you can make some noise in the playoffs. But it's going to be interesting. So your Philadelphia Union have a bye, so you don't have to worry about that stuff, which is brilliant. All you got to do is film work. All you have to do is film work. You can't screw this up. No more. No mas. So it's very interesting. So who do you think's getting in there?
Honestly, I feel like Columbus definitely has a chance.
Mm,
Let me see what their remaining schedule looks like compared to Miami. So they play New York Red Bull, Charlotte, and Orlando City to round out, and
that's
then
tough.
Miami does Toronto, Orlando, Montreal, which is the last two
Easier.
are a little bit tougher,
Right.
especially Montreal because that's the number 2.
Mm-hmm. So
Columbus may
I'm
Columbus may sneak in. Um, I feel like you can't count Charlotte out just because of the fact that they have the game in hand.
right.
Um, but
But
also Orlando and Miami both do as well, so they'll be able to keep pace if those
right.
two do get
See,
wins. So it would be a
this
bit.
and this is what's going to make this game even more harder, Austin, because now you're going to have to face a team that's fighting for their playoff lives. So they're going to come out gun blazing
Oh yeah,
on Saturday. They're going to come out gun blazing, ready to rock and roll. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
definitely.
And that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough, man. Um, again, new coach, 2 wins, everything's in their corner. 2 wins. Interim head coach. It looks like he's playing well, or having the guys play well. He's looking, to get himself a job. You have, like you said, and now they're playing for the playoff lives. Like they have a shot of making it in there, so they control their own destiny. And Yeah, they got a tall order in front of them with the Union team. However, man, they're going to come out, ready to play. They're going to come out, gun blazing, and we can't afford to take our foot off the gas pedal. Excuse me, foot off the gas pedal. You can't
Yeah, for
afford that
sure,
no more.
for
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah, especially where we sit at, we basically are keeping pace with LAFC for
The supporter shield.
for holding that top spot. We're basically sort of holding them off. So we have
hmm
to that because of the fact that they're out west and their matches start later, you essentially set the pace for if they have to win just to keep up or win to be able to move ahead.
Right,
And
right.
with the same amount of matches left now for the rest of the way, it's going to be very very close.
Yeah, it is going to be very. It's like I said, they got to keep pace with Columbus, Inter Miami. Um, this is going to be no easy ride. This is definitely not going to come down there to come get your steak or whatever and roll out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to
Yeah,
be no easy task. Even though the
throw your
competition
mouthpiece
for
on.
us, yeah, even though the competition for us is definitely like lower in terms of standings and
hmm
goal differential,
Right.
it's still a very vital final two matches for sure.
Yeah, and well, Toronto should be. You should have either time if you want to test them again. I take that as a preseason game if you want to try some things out. But like I said, if you're fighting for that shield spot, then no, you got to keep on trucking. You got to keep on laying dudes out in front of you. So that to me is going to be, and it's going to be an interesting ride. Like again, playoffs are right around the corner. MLS playoffs right is pretty much almost here. You know, well, what are we about 2 3 weeks away from MLS playoffs?
Yeah, this weekend, and then our final match against Toronto is the weekend after.
So like I said, huge news, man.
Yeah,
So I
October
mean,
1st and then October 9th. Or
our last games.
yeah, so we wouldn't
So
see the Union play again until probably right near Halloween time almost because
wow.
MLS Cup playoffs would start on the 20th. So yeah, around the 27th probably of October would probably be around the second round.
And we will have to keep a close eye on the bye week. I mean, because we got to see what we're going to be diving into and all those things, man.
Oh
So,
yeah,
again, big game coming up soon. I cannot wait. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. And for, again, the MLS playoff times. Now, just to remind some people, and Austin's going to verify this, there's no series. It's one and done.
correct.
That's so again. So if guys like the one and dones like myself, as much as I love my hockey, but I prefer a one and
Single
done.
elimination tournament play.
Yeah. So again, you could be, just get into dance and become prom king. It's happened to me plenty of times. Look at me. No, I'm kidding. Um, but no, look, man, just get yourself into the dance and make something happen. So, but for us, let's just keep on being that number one seed team, get that shield, and then wait for the opponent. But until then, Charlotte, you're up on the schedule next, my friend, and
Yeah,
we're coming to take care of you. I
yeah,
know, like I said, we pulled out all the negative things that could go wrong for us, but the positive things are we got Jim Curtin coming. You got Andre Blake getting, like I said, that defense out front of Andre Blake is no joke. Even when this team looks like at
yeah,
lowest, Andre Blake is he's at his best. So
yeah. And
he's
with the
a,
best defense in the league in front of the best goalkeeper in the league, it's kind of you know it's pretty easy to consider your options and what you can do.
yes, absolutely. Like I tell people all the time, um, this is an exciting time. But like I said, we're the positives about this game coming up on Saturday. I think we're going to roll a 3-0 victory. You think 2-1. Either way, a dub's a dub. But again, not to shift gears too much here. Playoff times. Around the corner. October is here. I call it the Christmas of all sports because we'll have your Eagles, we'll have your Sixers, we'll have your Flyers. We're going to have Union playoffs. We're going to have those Flyers. We'll have some, hopefully, Philly playoffs. Hopefully, like I said, 5-5 is here. Best time here in Philadelphia right now. So, guys, one more time, let me get to these. Uh, let me get to the sponsors of the show here. who do a great job again, guys. Let me get this off. Let me get this stupid banner off there. Guys, hit on my man David Archerry for your work conversations, medical vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. Hit up David Archerry at 610-565-0300. Great guy. He'll take care of you. Him up. Very good man right here. Very good man right here, guys. Take a look at this. Write it down. I'm giving you a second to write it down. If you don't write it down, then I'm going to have to skip it. Okay. Write it down if you can. Give me a second here. Again, uh, for you guys who want to hang out with us for Eagles talk, pre and post game, hang out the whole crew. The Paint Lions guys will be there. Devereaux Sports guys will be there. Edge of Philly Sports. We're all finally coming under a roof and getting to talk some Eagles football. And of course, guys, Philly Sports trips again. Hit them up. It's going to Arizona. The next one on October 9th. Don't want to miss it. Fly out there with the team. And if you guys are passionate union guys like me and Austin and Gus, give them a jingle. Tell them Edge of Philly Sports sent you. Fly down to Charlotte this weekend. Book your flight now. So, guys, again, and here are one more. Again, here goes the whole roster. I'm not going to mention all. There's too much. And there's a lot more to come. All I know
So
after
much
this,
happening.
so much happening. Uh, all I know is at 10:45 tonight we're going to be talking Tekken. So guys, that's going to be my handoff. So anyway, guys, let's get back to the action out here. Me, Austin, uh, we got playoffs right around the corner. We have a big series matchup on Saturday. Again, the quest for the Shield is on. So in order to do that, we have to run through this Charlotte team, smash them, and take care of business. Then, everything's gravy after that. We
And then
again,
work through Toronto as well, and then go into the
and
playoffs. Have that
go
advantage of having that week of rest and
right.
use it well.
Yeah. Like you said, you take care of Charlotte this weekend. You head down there, your last road trip. Go down there, take care of business, come back up home, rest up for a few, rest up for a week, take care of Toronto, and stay at that number one seed. Look, if you don't get the Shield, you still get that number one seeded team. So, guys, if you're checking in for the Union for the first time, you're like, oh man, how I can get in this? I hear my friends talk about the Union. I'm hearing it's a wild, good time. The Sons of Ben, who probably the hottest fan base in the city, are always in there. Guys, this is the time to get on board, man. That's another round of playoffs. Who doesn't love playoffs in this city, Philadelphia? Who doesn't love it? And when your teams represent, man, get on board. I'm telling you, I'm gonna personally myself, I'm gonna baptize John Lee into the Sons of Bay River. So I'm going to get that little toad in there. So, but anyway, listen, guys, enjoy this because it's playoff time. It's just about here. It's creeping in. Speaking of, look who's checked into the program. Our man Paul Spencer. Just got my first soccer jersey. There you go, Paul. This week the New York Red Bulls. What? Some dude named Morgan. Well, Paul, I appreciate you getting into the vibe. And look, if New York
Take
Red
it
Bulls is
back
your
and get
team,
a refund.
if someone's brainwashed you in the New York Red Bull, uh, on shame on them. No, I'm kidding. If that's going to be your squad, that's cool. But when it comes to Uniontown and here in South in Chester, man, there's no better place to be right now. The Sons of Ben's going to be going wild. You got the beautiful bridge right there and some water, and of course my favorite, the 14-inch wiener. You can never turn down that. Here goes my man Paul. It's free. Yeah, Paul. Hey, listen, I came. Is
Can't
he
beat
good?
that.
Uh, Austin, take that away, buddy. Is he good?
Sorry, I'm just saying. Lewis Morgan.
Yeah.
14 goal scorer this year, 30 matches. Not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, listen. He can't be. It's free. He's gonna rock. Hey, look.
Yeah, right.
It just if Paul's gonna hey, look. If this is how to get Paul into the sport of it, so be it. We're glad. Like I said,
Hey,
it's like I
sometimes,
said, plus
sometimes a free uni is usually the way that you start.
get started. So come check it out again. You can't beat it, man. It's gonna be such a good time. Playoffs is here, right around the corner. But like I said, Saturday, let's take care of Charlotte. Give them a beat down, a solid good beat down. So guys, for me, Pat Bernard, our man Austin Hamels, man, come check us out in about 45 minutes while we get ready to set up, talk some Tekken, fighting. Yes, Paul's got it. He's got it right here, Tekken. But anyway, guys, this has been a great show. Me, Austin, I know Gus couldn't make it tonight. He's got some family things he's got to take care of. I completely understand. For me, has a big family of my own. Completely understand. So, guys, next week we will be breaking down this Charlotte and Union game, and we will be
Looking
getting
ahead
ready
to
for
Toronto to wrap up the regular
Toronto
season.
wrap it all up like a big rubber. So, anyway, guys, catch you later and have a good one.